So 9 more minutes before.
And we don't have.
So with Praveen being away, does that mean my job is easier?
Oh, there he is.
And the meeting agenda is also on the chat box, so everyone can download it.
Are you going to move the agenda off at some stage, or is it going to be up on the screen all the time?
No, just for now.
Okay, good.
Yes, we will move it.
I can't see the people. The agenda's coming in the way.
Oh, well, you could just, I'll tell you how to do that. If you, do you have it in your top right-hand corner? Do you have it on speaker view or gallery view?
Yes, I have speaker view. I can put gallery.
Okay, so if you put it on.
If I put it on gallery, I only see you.
Okay, that means it's on speaker. That actually means it's on speaker view. What you see written at the top, the opposite is what you're in. So you want to show, so it shows speaker view, then it will really be in gallery view. And you can drag that box larger so that you can see more people.
Okay, well, the agenda will be gone. You hadn't promised that, so I'll be able to see everyone.
This just gives you a quick overview. Timer John Morris.
Hello.
And we don't have Praveen. Should be coming.
And we're missing the table topic master, Arcadio, as well.
He says he'll be here though, right?
Yeah, I messaged him. He said he will be here until 8:25.
Well, if you're stuck, I will volunteer if nobody wants it. If not, if anybody else wants to volunteer, please do so.
And we should still have Jeff King and Samantha Schaffner.
What did you say the last name was? I thought it says.
Jeffin Veckel and Samantha Schaffner. Those the Richmond Toastmaster members.
Yes.
Why does it say Samantha Sue?
Oh,
we have two Samanthas.
We have two Samantha today.
Oh, Samantha Schaffner. I see. Very
Sal,
good.
do you take table topics? Manesh has expressed an interest to speak.
I could take table topics if nobody wants to do it.
Okay.
Sorry, was that your question?
No. I was just saying that if you do end up taking table topics at the last minute, Manesh said that he would like to participate in it. He's our guest from India.
I'll ask all the guests if they want to participate.
I don't know this Arcadio Viveros Guzman. Is he a member or is he from another club?
He's a member.
He's a member.
That's quite the handle.
He's in Mexico though. That may be the reason why.
At this moment.
At this moment.
Oh.
Well, you can join us from there, but probably couldn't tonight.
Well, there's still time.
Well, he might just still make it. He might have to take a quick flight, but he'll be here maybe.
Yeah.
Also, 5 minutes before meeting starts.
Sharon, how are you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Good. Enjoying the sunshine.
Yeah, it is.
Sharon, you're wearing a mask. Can't see your whole face. And Dorothy, you look extremely small.
Okay. How about now?
You're like a tiny, tiny person. We can see your face.
Sharon, you look fantastic.
Dorothy, you are muted.
Yeah, Dorothy, you look tiny. You've got large furniture around you.
Thank you. I'm flattered that you think that I'm tiny.
You look tiny. Not that you are. You maybe. I don't know.
That's
But
just
you
a
do look small.
virtual background. That's not really.
Yeah, that's okay. I sometimes use a virtual background, but I kind of do this kind of thing, so I get myself up.
And is that a wood block wall in your background, or what kind of wall is that? Or is that a virtual background?
That is a brick wall.
We have another new
Wow.
guest, David.
Hi, David. Welcome to the meeting.
Hello.
David, where are you visiting us from?
Oh, I've seen Samantha Schaffner before.
Yeah,
Where
Jeff
were
and
you?
I came as a guest for a spotlight speaker banner raise tonight.
Right. That's right.
And we're from Richmond Toastmasters.
Excellent.
Okay,
Welcome.
here.
Thank you.
There's Praveen.
Hi, Dorothy.
Did you get a new haircut?
Yes.
Nice.
Thank you. Hi, Leah.
Hi, Praveen. A pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Hi, Praveen. I'm Sal.
Hi, Sal. Hi, Jeffin. Hi, Samantha.
Hey,
Hi.
Praveen.
Welcome to your year's Area 42 director.
3 minutes before meeting starts.
Hey, Leah. I remember I saw you at the speech contest a couple of months ago.
Oh, at the district contest or at the division contest?
I think it was the district contest.
Yes, that was an experience, a one and only experience. My nerves can't take it.
Oh, so you're not going to do it again next year?
No, she's preparing it for this year, right, Samantha? She's going to compete against me, and she's going to beat me.
No, Sal, you're fantastic.
No,
Don't let anybody tell you
kidding.
otherwise.
I don't think so, but there you go. We can be modest with each other.
Of course.
Oh, there we go. That looks good. So what's the word of the day? Invocator? Is that the word of the day?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was sharing my screen. I shouldn't have done that.
The word of the
Now I
day.
can see people. Yeah.
No, actually, Sandy is our grammarian.
Who?
Sandy.
We have a very interesting word of the day that I've never heard before.
What's the word of the day?
According to Easy Speak, but I should probably let our grammarian introduce the word of the day.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't even know what it is.
Well, she will tell you.
We're going to find out as we go along. Okay.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Okay, 1 minute before meeting starts.
Thank you so much, everybody, for being here tonight. Very much appreciated.
Thanks for having us. And thank you, Praveen, for inviting us.
I give a round of applause to Praveen. So in looking over the agenda, the only one missing at this point is Arcadio. Am I right on that?
Yes, you are, and he's not coming.
He's confirmed not coming.
Confirm not coming.
No, I messaged him again. He says he will come.
Oh, he will come. Okay, I'm sorry.
I need to leave.
I didn't get the latest on it.
8:25. Yeah, Arcadio is here.
Oh, he's here. I see a name somewhere. Oh, here he is, Arcadio.
Hi,
Great.
Arcadio. Thanks
Fantastic.
for making it.
You got your table topics master then.
All roles are here.
It is 7:15, so I would like to start the meeting. So good evening, global speaker members, dignitaries, and most welcome guests. We have quite a few today. My name is Yuhan Chen. I have two roles today. The first responsibility is I will serve as a Zoom master, which is the Zoom host for this room. So I have four protocols I want to go through with you. The first, please mute yourself until it is your turn to speak. Second, if you have any technical issues during the meeting, please send a private chat to me and I will do my best to help you. Third, the meeting agenda is uploaded in the chat box. You can download for your convenience. Fourth, I will be taking screenshots throughout the meeting. If you don't want to be seen on any social media, please send me a private chat, private message, and I will edit you out before I post on social media. And also, this meeting is being recorded right now. If you don't want to be seen anywhere on social media, please let me know. I will edit your image out before posting. And my second responsibility tonight is the Sergeant at Arms. So therefore, I would like to introduce the meeting chair tonight. Tonight's meeting chair is Leah Shen. She joined Toastmasters in 2013 and joined our club global speaker in February 2019. She has served area director and division directors and achieved distinguished Toastmaster in 2017. And this year she won the Division E International Speech Contest. And also she just received her trophy here from the program quality director. That's a trophy presentation last week. Therefore, I would like, please help me to welcome distinguished Toastmaster Leah Shen.
Thank you very much, Sergeant at Arms Yuhan Chen. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, fellow global speaker members, dignitaries that we have at tonight's meeting, and especially our most welcome guests. Tonight, our theme is inspiring moments. Those are the moments when we may be at our lowest of lows, but we look at something, we see something, and we realize that there is a possibility, there is hope. Things can be achieved. It could be the smile of a baby looking at you when you least expect it, laughing for no reason. It could be found like Newton with an apple falling on your head and discovering science that you never knew existed. Inspiring moments come in all shapes and sizes. And here at Toastmasters, at Global Speakers, we provide a positive and supportive learning environment in which members are empowered to develop greater communication skills and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. And each meeting has its inspiring moments. I hope tonight that by the end of this, you walk away with inspiring moments to make your Toastmasters journey all that much better. I would like to now say that we have a full agenda and everybody who has a role is here. So thank you very much for being here. I would like at this point for us all to get to know each other a little bit better. I'm going to go through my list on my screen here that I have for those who are here tonight. And when I call you, I'd like you to say who you are, if you're a Toastmaster, what club you belong to, and how long you've been a Toastmaster for. I'll start first with tonight's Sergeant at Arms, Yuhan Chen. Please unmute yourself.
So thank you, Leah, my fellow members and welcome guests. My name is Yuhan Chen. I joined Global Speaker in 2008, and I'm serving a club president this year. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Yuhan. Next, I would like to call on Alex Bao. Please introduce yourself.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. My name is Alex Bao. I'm from Teresa Heights Cornerstone Toastmaster, which is located in Surrey. I joined that club in 2018. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Next, I would like to call on David W. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is David Wen. I come from Canada, and my home country is China. I am currently trying to learn from this Toastmaster so that I can improve my public speaking.
Thank you very much. I hope, David, that you achieve out of this program everything that you want. Next, I would like to call on Charles Lai.
Thank you, Leah. I'm from Global Speakers Toastmasters, which is from this club. And anybody who's from Global Speaker will know how I speak and evaluate in a little bit. I've been in Toastmasters for about a good 7 years, and then counting. And I'm here because I wanted to learn how to make an impact when speaking in front of 50,000 people one day.
Thank you, Charles. Next, I'd like to call on Samantha Sue.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests. My name is Samantha. I've been a I'm with Global Speakers, and I've been a Toastmaster since November of 1999. Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Samantha. Next, I would like to call on our Division E Director, Dorothy Miller.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests. My name is Dorothy Miller, as Leah said, your Division E Director. It is my pleasure to be here tonight to be your General Evaluator. I have been a Toastmaster for 7 years, a member of 4 clubs, and I am thoroughly pumped about this year. I have recently become a distinguished Toastmaster, and I want to spread the good news. Back to you.
Thank you, Dorothy. Next, I would like to call on Sandy Chen.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sandy Chen. I'm originally from Unicorn Tribe Toastmasters and have been in Toastmaster for about 9 months. Back to you.
Thank you very much. Next, I'd like to call on our guest, Samantha Schaffner.
Thank you. Good evening, Chair, fellow Toastmasters, and fellow guests. My name is also Samantha, the second one here, and I'm from Richmond Toastmasters, and I've been a member of Toastmasters for a year now and can't wait to start my 2nd year with them.
Nice. Next, I'd like to call on another guest of ours, Jeffin Veckel.
Good evening, Chair and Global Toastmasters. I am Jeffin Veckel. I'm from Richmond Toastmasters. I've been with Richmond Toastmasters since probably 2018, so 2 years, about 2 years and a little bit now. And sorry, what else am I supposed to say?
That's pretty much it, unless you wanted to add anything else.
I dragged her into Toastmasters, so that's why that's why we've been at Toastmasters for a year. I've been at Toastmasters for 2 years. Back to you, Leah.
Thank you very much, Jeffin. Next, I'd like to call on our guest, Manesh Gupta. Manesh?
He's muted.
Oh, how do I mute?
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. I became Toastmaster Club 10 days ago because the place where I live in India, we do not have Toastmaster member over here. So it was my compulsion. I couldn't become member. I've been trying for the past 2-3 years. I saw some of the videos on YouTube. It shows, they tell that if you want to improve your public speaking skills, your communication skills, you join Toastmaster Club. But coronavirus is a menace, nuisance for me. It's a blessing in disguise, I can say, that I am able to join Toastmaster Club online. Otherwise, it was offline earlier. I do not know how many months or for how many days it will stay online, but it's a blessing in disguise that I can talk to anywhere, any part of the world with this Toastmaster Club, and I can improve my communication skills and my public speaking skills, which is my goal. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Manesh. You are welcome to join us anytime. Next, I would like to call on Sal Baloo.
Good afternoon, good evening, most distinguished guests, our Division Director, Dorothy Miller, Area Director, Pravin Samuel, most welcome guests, fellow Toastmasters, Madam Chair. My name is Sal Baloo. I belong to Enriched Speakers Toastmasters, which is my home club. I occasionally join other clubs, like Global Speakers, for instance. And what can I say? You'll hear a little bit more about me because I'm going to be your speaker number 2, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Sal. Next, I'd like to introduce our newest member, John Morris.
Thank you very much, Leah. I have been a Toastmaster for 28 years, and tonight's my first meeting with Global, and I'm very happy to be here. I dropped out of the ceiling from Spotlight, and I love the vibes here, so I'm very happy to be here. Glad to be here, everybody.
Thank you for being here, John. It's a pleasure to have you here. So you are so welcomed here. Next, I would like to call on Sharon Liu.
Good evening, my dear Toastmaster fellows and most welcome guests. I'm from Global, and I've been with Global since this March. Before that, I was a member of the Enrich Club. I joined Toastmaster back last year from from November. Thank you. Back to you, Chair.
Thank you, Sharon. Next, I would like to call on, all the way from Mexico, Arcadio Guzman.
Hello, everyone. My name is Arcadio, and I belong to this club, to the Global Speakers Club, and I am going to be the table topics master. And I want to keep you mentally alert with the table topics, and I will explain you what the table topics section of the meeting will be about later.
Thank you so much, Arcadio. Last but not least, I would like to have our Area 42 Director, Praveen Samuel, introduce himself.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Everybody, my name is Praveen Samuel. Richmond Masters, and I've been a member since last year. And I'm also a member of Spotlight Toastmasters. It's to be here to listen to you all talk, and I look forward to seeing you through the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Praveen. I'm happy to have you here tonight, one of our distinguished guests. At this point, I would like to introduce our roles that have prepared parts to them. First, I would like to call on our grammarian, Sandy Chen, to introduce what she will be doing in her role as grammarian.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Sandy Chen. It's my pleasure to be a grammarian for tonight. I would like to start. The word of the day is slake, S-L-A-K-E, which is a verb meaning to cool or refresh. For example, there were no trees to give the men shade or springs to slake their thirst. I encourage everyone to use this word during the meeting, and I will note it down who applied this word during the meeting. I will also monitor the language and grammar usage during the meeting. For our counter role, I will note any overused word or filler sounds used as a crutch by anyone who speaks during the meeting, such as so, but, you know, and. At the end of the meeting, I will give out the report. Back to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Sandy. Next, and you presented a challenging word, so I appreciate that. Next, I would like to call on our timer, John Morris, to please tell us what you'll be doing in your role as timer tonight. John. John. Oh,
Thank you very much, Leah. As your timer tonight, I'll be keeping track of the times of all various speakers, including the prepared speeches and the table topics. The table topics go for 2 minutes, green at 1 minute, yellow at 1.5 minutes, and red at 2 minutes, with clap down at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. The prepared speeches are 5 to 7 minutes, and green at 5, yellow at 6, and red at 7 with clap down at 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Those are the main ones, but I'll be keeping track of all the times for all the different people on the agenda. Also, it's very important to know how long you've spoken for, so that you don't speak too long to bore your audience and lose them, but you speak long enough to get your message across. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, John. And another thing to note that at Global Speakers, if you do go over, say 7 minutes and 30 seconds, the timer does have the ability to mute you. So please be aware of your time. No Toastmasters meeting would be fully and complete without a little bit of inspiration. So now I would like to call on our invocator to help us have some inspiration for tonight's meeting. Please help me welcome Samantha Schaffner.
Thank you very much. So, fellow Toastmasters, how many of you remember the very first time that you attended a Toastmasters meeting, even if it was 28 years ago? Do you remember what it felt like to give your very first speech? Maybe your heart was pounding out of your chest, or maybe you were riding that adrenaline high that comes from accomplishing something, getting your first speech done, and hearing all the applause surrounding you when you finished. The theme of tonight's meeting is inspiring moments, and I couldn't think of a better, more inspirational example in my life than Toastmasters itself. When I first joined Toastmasters, a lot of my goals for it were personal. I wanted to improve my own communication skills, and although I felt comfortable speaking in front of an audience, I needed a script to do so. And the very thought of taking off those training wheels left me really terrified that I would fall down, scrape my knee, not be able to get up again. And since then, of course, my own skills have gradually improved, and my fears have been slaked through things like table topics opportunities. But what's been surprising is that I continue to find inspiration through Toastmasters every single day in new ways as time goes on. I get to see members of our clubs who are novices challenging themselves, pushing themselves every single day to try new roles, prepare new speeches. And it's amazing when you see guests come up to the table and even say a few words during table topics, even if they're really terrified about it. When we're in a race, we really need people there. We need trainers to be able to push us to the next level. And we need people on the sidelines cheering us to reach the finish line there. So what's really surprising and inspiring about Toastmasters for me is the connections that we build. As we improve our own communication skills, we're supporting, uplifting, and encouraging others all at the same time, which is truly a positive feedback loop. And when we speak about inspiration, I feel that it's often in the context of beginning something new. But I would encourage everyone to look at inspiration as a lens on different aspects of your life and see how it evolves and changes with you. Because if you look around, I'm sure you'll find it in the most unexpected of places. Thank you.
That was beautiful, Samantha. Thank you very much. At Global Speakers, we do a toast. So if you have a drink, whether it's coffee, water, juice, milk, whatever you may have, please raise your glass. I propose a toast to finding inspiring moments throughout your entire Toastmasters journey, whether you're a novice, whether you've been around for 28 years like John. May you continue to be inspired, and may you continue to inspire others to inspiration. Cheers. We've now come to the part of the meeting for our prepared speeches. And at Global, our evaluators introduce our speakers. So now I would like to call on our first evaluator, Charles Lai, to please introduce our first speaker. Please help me welcome Charles.
Thank you again, Leah. And our first speaker is going to be Praveen Samuel, whose title of the speech, who told me ahead of time, is not going to be From Any Pathways, but he did send me a title, and that is, I believe, to be To Infinity and Beyond. Based on that, I'm going to go by the guess that this is going to be more or less of an inspirational speech. So I'm going to be evaluating more or less like an inspirational speech as such standards. I hope nobody minds about that. In the meantime, so let's get started with Praveen, who I'm sure will be enough to want to slake our knowledge with his inspirations.
Thank you. Human. Infinity is elegant. Infinity is mysterious. Infinity is inconceivable. As I remain hopeful that human stupidity shall one day become a vestige of our past, I'm increasingly convinced that the universe is infinite, not only in size, but also in the astounding number of possibilities. I have an insatiable yearning to understand the secrets of the universe that we live in. Over the years, through my reading of subjects in astronomy, theoretical physics, and the natural sciences, I have stumbled across some truly mind-boggling concepts of reality that upend our conventional wisdom of the nature of existence. In the next few minutes, I will share with you 3 fascinating facts about the universe. My first fact: time is relative. How many of you might think that I would have to be committed to a mental asylum if I claimed now that the dinosaurs were not extinct? Show of hands. I
think we lost them.
Extinct. No, I'm not talking about Schrodinger's dinosaurs. I'm talking about the relativity of time. Imagine you appear the Earth through a telescope from a planet 66 million light years away. What would you see? You would see the mighty dinosaurs roaming the Earth. Earth's history, the dinosaurs suffered extinction 5 million years ago, and the distance that it travels in 1 year is called, which is about 6 trillion miles or 10 trillion kilometers. So for civilization observing us from 66 million light years away, the light that would reach them from the Earth would be 66 million years old and would represent, in our timeline, would represent 66 million years, but in their timeline would be their present. They would be completely unaware of the cataclysmic event. Mind-bending, it gets weirder. Quantum mechanics makes it possible for the mere act of observation of a phenomenon to alter the phenomenon itself. Ergo, in their timeline, the dinosaurs of Earth may never be extinct. My second fact: Googleplex. Do the words Googleplex and Google ring a bell? Is a large number with 10 to the power of 100 zeros. A Googleplex is an unfathomably large number with 10 to the power of 10 to the power of 100 zeros, or 10 to the power of a Google. To put those numbers in perspective, the entire observable universe has 10 to the power of 80 particles. Googles, however, are not that impressive. You can fit 10 to the 90 particles of sand and 10 to the power of 183 Planck length units, each of which measures 10 to the power of minus 35 meters in the entire observable universe. If you tried to write down each zero of the Googleplex for every particle in the universe, you will not be able to write down the whole number. Now imagine if the universe, if you would begin to see repetitions, copies of yourself, your doppelganger. Why? The maximum number of quantum states possible in the volume that you occupy, which is about a meter cube, is 10 to the power of 10 to the power of 70, a number much smaller than a Googleplex. My third fact: black holes. Black holes are simple objects with incredibly complex effects on space. They have only 3 properties: mass, angular momentum, and charge. A black hole's gravity is so immense that not only can nothing escape its clutches, it also alters the nature of reality and time. 2 things can slow down time: the stronger the gravitational field a particle experiences,
And the closer its speed is to the speed of light, the slower the passage of time it experiences. Photons, for example, which travel at the speed of light, do not experience any time at all. This effect is so pronounced at the event horizon of a black hole that if you were to hover right above it, mere seconds will have elapsed for you, but millions or billions of years will have passed for those on Earth. The warping of space-time inside a black hole is so extreme that space and time, which are normally distinct entities, converge inside a black hole, and the central singularity becomes a point in your future, should you unwittingly cross the event horizon and fall into one. Also, once inside a black hole, you can never see singularity because light always travels towards the singularity and not away from it. What lies at infinity and beyond? The faster than light expansion of the universe might forever shroud the far edges of the cosmos in mystery for us. But I take comfort in the fact that the power of human imagination is infinite, is unrelenting, and that we are in the universe, and the universe is in us. All these immortal words come to mind. The nitrogen in our DNA, the calcium in our teeth, the carbon in our apple pies, and our blood were made in the interiors of collapsing stars. We are made of stars. Madam Chairwoman.
Thank you very much, Praveen. I feel like I am now very well educated. That was incredible. Next, I would like to call on our second evaluator to introduce our second speaker. Please help me welcome Samantha Sue. Samantha.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests, or good morning to some of our guests and members that's not in Vancouver. Our second speaker, Sal Ballou, DTM. DTM stands for Distinguished Toastmaster. Sal achieved this highest honor of Toastmaster last year by presenting no less than 40 prepared speeches, serving various club officer positions, being an area director, also a club coach. Before his retirement, he was in the finance and banking profession. He was interested in public speaking. That's why he started Toastmasters. Being a lifelong learner, he enjoys the personal growth opportunity that Toastmaster offers. Now his goal is to learn more and to help other Toastmasters. His speech today is based on Pathway, Inspire your audience, level 3. The purpose of this project is to inspire others. The time limit is 5 to 7. The title of his speech is where did it go? A Grim Encounter, Sal Ballou.
Thank you very much, Samantha, for that very eloquent introduction. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. It was a warm, tropical night. I was 5 years old, clutching my father's strong, warm hand, large hand. And as we were walking along, we saw stars in the sky. My father kept pointing and said, "Look here, that is Jupiter." And I would say, "Jupiter," and he would correct me. Look at that, son. That is Venus." And I'd say, "Oh, wow, that's Venus." And then he said something that I'll remember for a very, very long time. He said, "Look to the stars." I didn't quite understand the significance of that, but I'll explain that later. Madam Chair, most distinguished guests, fellow Toastmasters, shortly after that very memorable walk that I had with my father, he had a grim encounter. He had an aggressive form of cancer and he passed away. And as I grew older, and I was in my teens, I came across his book of quotes. And I found that one of his favorite quotes, and I don't know who the author is, it was, "Two men looked out of prison bars. One saw the mud, the other saw the stars." And then it means beautiful writing, "Look to the stars." Let's fast forward 50 years from then. And I'm very successful in my career. I worked for a financial institution. I was bringing money hand over heels. Everybody was getting rich. I was working 10, 11, 12 hours a day because I enjoyed working. And I had a lot of accolades. Every year I would win the top performer award. And then one day, I had the devastating news. But I had a very aggressive form of prostate cancer. The tumor was the size of a golf ball, was like an apple turning brown. And they weren't sure if surgery or any other treatment would do it. Probably I would have 6 months, I don't know. It was devastating. My stomach was in knots. I felt my whole world collapse. I started questioning everything. I was angry. I was in denial. I was fearful. And then I remembered the words of my dad. "Look to the stars." I said, I'm going to try and apply that. So I found out that there are some positive things I could do. One thing I could do is find out more about the treatment, get a second opinion, get a third opinion. And I did. And they confirmed, yes, definitely, you have an aggressive form of cancer. But the other thing I did was finding out a little bit more about what would involve, and I went for surgery. The surgery itself was okay. They managed to get it out. But the hardest part was recovery, and I had about 3 months. So I started reading books. I started listening to good music. I loved Baroque music, so I started listening to that. Very inspiring. I connected with support groups. I had a lot of friends that I could turn to, some people that had gone through this, and I started getting better. So I went back to work. And then for further inspiration, I rejoined Toastmasters. And I just didn't join my own home club. I joined 4 other clubs. And I was club president of 3 clubs at the same time. All of them became distinguished. I became an area director, and I entered a contest. And I went as far as the district. But I went a little bit over time, so I lost the contest. But that's okay. But I started filling my life with positive, inspiring thoughts. And when I was at work, it was work-life balance. I wasn't going to subject myself to 11, 12 hours anymore. I knew that life was too fragile. There was too much more to do. I slaked my fears and worries by getting into more positive things, helping other people, helping people at work, making them more successful rather than it's me all the time. I would say that life is there for you to enjoy. And so the more you maximize and enjoy the present moments, because you never know what's going to happen. Right now we're suffering from this pandemic. It would be sad if we were always fearful. It would be wonderful if we were positive. I'd rather live 6 months than die positive than live 20 years and be worried and be angry. So it's very important that we maximize our present moments. I've been through a very tough time. A lot of you will not quite have that experience of grim encounter, but there will be unpleasant things happening in your life. And I am a living example of life is 10% what happens to you. 90% is what you do about it. So I would urge you all, always, no matter what situation you're in, always look to the stars. Look to the stars. Remember, 2 men looked out of prison bars. One saw the mud, the other saw the stars. Decide what you want to do with your life and enjoy every minute of it. Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Sal, for that incredibly inspiring speech filled with personal stories. That was amazing, and I really enjoyed it. At this part of our meeting, we now call on our evaluators, because not only is Toastmasters about public speaking, but it's about learning and growing, and our evaluators will give tips to our speakers to help them make their speeches even better than they already were. I would like to call on our first evaluator, Charles Lai, to provide Praveen Samuel with some feedback. Help me welcome Charles.
Thank you. And I was told ahead of time by Praveen to pull any punches necessary. So because of that, I'm going to give it to him exactly as it is. From the beginning, let me be blunt. I have no idea what is going on with Praveen's speech, not because it's a bad speech, because there was so much choppiness from the start to the finish that I don't even know what in the world is he talking about. But it's not a bad thing, because I believe that throughout the speech, I was expecting some kind of inspirational content, but nevertheless, he did surprise us all with something with a bit of physics concepts here and there, and still managed to keep my interest hooked in for a bit. So I guess that is not a total bad thing at all. So great job at the first part. So the second part that comes in is the organization of the speech, which is well structured and well thought out of, despite some technicality. And I think everything from here kind of go downhill, because the organization is done so well, but the developmental portion is the only thing that's done well. The delivery and the effectiveness from the crappy internet connection and everything else managed to damp down everything from the speech, because I can't even understand a single word that he's coming through because of something like the far edges of our universe and then cut off. And then something next, they're talking about the faster than light travel and then cut off. And then it's kind of like you're trying to piece a bunch of puzzles together that doesn't even fit a whole image. So that's the way I'm starting to find what happens with the annoyance of horrible internet connections. Nevertheless, I also wanted to find out about Praveen using some technical definitions. I don't even know what to be making of it, because some of this might have lost on me. Because I'm just kind of asking Praveen, is your audience global speakers, or are you trying to do the Copenhagen interpretation at MIT? How many people understand what I was talking about, that last bit? Oh, no? Neither do I. So that's why I was trying to get my point across on how lost we are. So because of that, I do welcome him to try to dumb the concepts down, because this is such a technical piece of information. If you have to, just try to break it into 2 and 3 more speeches, at least something that will leave your audience slake. or want to slake for more knowledge. So that is something to consider, but nevertheless, I believe that there's some interesting parts that still manage to get us all hooked in. And I think the last bit is, on a side note, that's nothing to do with speech, is the talking about black hole that talks about angular momentum. I think the more appropriate word is spin. But nevertheless, that's just something minor, and I still like your speech, and you managed to deliver some interesting concepts. Thank you, Perveen.
Thank you very much, Charles, for that evaluation. As always, you threw it like you saw it. So thank you very much for that. Next, I would like to call on Samantha Sue to provide some feedback for Sal Ballou's speech. Please help me welcome Samantha.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening and good morning, Toastmasters and guests. What a speech! What a slate speech! I enjoy that Sal actually stood up to present his speech, who said that we cannot use our hand gestures, body language in a Zoom meeting. We can, just stand up and do it. Very well done. He started with Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, and I thought that it must be a very inspirational childhood memory or a childhood story. Nope, I was surprised. And I felt his emotion when he was telling us what the grim encounter was. The speech was full of vocal variety, and he was very emotional at times, and he used his hand gestures really well. It was informational too, and he told us what he did some research on this cancer stuff, and then how he formed a group to connect with other cancer patients, and gave us an idea when we have some life-threatening events happening, we should not be just give up. We have to go on. A small point for improvement, towards the end of his speech, his voice was really soft when he said, life is for you to enjoy. And I would like to hear, life is for you to enjoy. And then, like my father said, always look to the sky, look to the stars to find your answer, find your inspiration. If he would use a stronger voice, that would add more impact to his messages. I just love the speech. And so far, I would say I've heard Sal's speech many, many, many times. This would be the one that really moves me. I enjoy it very much. It captured my attention throughout the whole speech. Thank you, Sal. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Samantha. That was a beautiful evaluation with some feedback. Really well done. This concludes the prepared speech portion of our meeting tonight. At this point, Mr. Timer, do we have time for a 5-minute break?
Yes, we do, Leah.
In that case, I call that we have a 5-minute break. Feel free to socialize amongst yourselves. And Mr. Sergeant at Arms, will you tell us when we have 1 minute before meeting back again? Or Mr. Timer? Mr. Timer?
I will. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll keep track, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much, John. At this point, feel free to socialize and take the time to get to know each other better.
Yes, please.
Lovely to see everybody, new faces and all of that along the lines.
I agree.
I'm curious about David. David, are you in a gavel club or a Toastmasters club?
I don't think he's around to be hearing. I don't know.
So David, go to for her thing.
Pardon me?
David, go to bathroom.
Oh, I see. Thank you. Is he in a gavel club?
No, not in gavel club.
In a Toastmasters club?
It's the first time for him to be Toastmasters club.
Oh, okay. So he is just coming to visit and see what Toastmasters is like?
Yeah, the first time.
Okay. How old is David?
12.
12. Does he know about gavel clubs?
No, we don't know gavel club.
Okay, because that would be the place for David to be, because a gavel club is for, actually, I think, Leah, do you know, is it 13 to 18 or is it 12 to 18?
Could you send
12 to 18.
Could you send an email to me about gavel club?
Of course. Can you, in the chat box, are you able to send your email address?
Okay.
Thank you.
Gavel clubs are a great way to get started, and they help give children so much confidence.
Thank you.
Whereabouts are you? What city?
Richmond.
In Richmond.
I thought there was a gavel club in Richmond down at South Salmon Arm, but I'm not 100%.
South Salmon Arm?
Yeah. Johan, do you know anything about this?
I don't, that's an interesting term. I've never heard it before.
It's a community center in the South End.
There was a gavel club at Richmond South Arm Community Center.
Oh, that's it, South Arm. Thank you.
Yeah. South Arm.
I don't think it's continuing on at the moment, however. I don't know if they've transitioned to online. I can ask the previous president the previous person that was running the gavel club. I don't know if there are any other Richmond gavel clubs out there.
I'll look into it.
Thanks, Dorothy. Do you want Sadia Afrin's contact information? She was the person that was running the gavel club at Richmond South Arm.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 second.
Thanks for sharing the information.
Thank you.
And Joan, is the last name, well, what is the last name? You just got W.
David's last name is W-E-N.
Say it again.
W-E-N.
W-N?
W-E-N.
W-E-N. Thank you.
Okay, well, 1 minute before we reconvene the meeting.
Thank you. You had 1 minute.
Gentlemen, thanks for both being on the timing for the break. Oh, Jeffin, well, nice to have you here. I just wanted to say thank you for being amazing competition this year.
Oh, yes, that was fun. I'm going to do that again next year. When
Oh, please do. Take it. Take it. You were fantastic.
Thanks. Yeah, it was fun.
5 minutes is up.
Thank you very much, John. I appreciate that. Welcome back to the second half of the Global Speakers July 27th meeting. Now that we've had our prepared speeches, it's time for us to move into our impromptu speeches, also known as table topics. I would now like to give a warm welcome to our table topics master, Arcadio Guzman. Please help me welcome him.
Thank you very much. Okay, good evening, fellow Toastmasters, dignitaries, and welcome to guests. Table topics helps us to prepare to make a good first impression the first time around, to effectively sell an elevator pitch, or to break the ice in social scenes. Table topics are improvised speeches and gives the opportunity for those without a role tonight to participate. I have a series of questions and will ask them one at a time and then call on one of you to answer that question. To our guests, if you do not want to participate, please let me know. I might add that table topics are the best part of the meeting. Each mini speech during this section of the meeting lasts 2 minutes maximum, and the red light will turn on, or I should say the green card will be shown at minute 1, then the yellow card at 1.5, and then the red card will be shown to you at minute 2. Okay, let's get started. Question number 1. How would you define an inspiring moment? How would you define an inspiring moment, and give 1 or 2 examples if you have time? Charles.
Can anybody hear me now? So my best way to define an inspiring moment is look at where I normally find my inspiration, which is normally hard if you don't know the people's names that I find inspiring. So I guess for common terms' sake, I guess I can ask, how many people here know Tony Robbins or Anthony Robbins? Okay, so I guess a good number of people to know I don't have to explain who he is. So my best bet of saying, or at least comparing an inspiring moment, is trying to find people who are of high caliber, who is out for motivation, inspiration, or give these kinds of speeches around the place. And I pick up my moment of inspirations from there. Bits and pieces of those speeches uplift, move me, and keeps me jump-started for my day. And these types of things as part of my daily morning routine keeps me going. And I can say that is one of my ways to be having my moment of inspiration. The other way I can say is my moment of inspiration is look at who is close to you. So for myself would be family-wise. So I guess my wife would be a good example of a moment of inspiration, especially during this time of the year. Because number one, she is not just only a frontline worker, but she's also in research at biotech. So during this time, despite having a pandemic going on, she's willing to bust it, not only bust it through from start to finish. She's willing to just stay behind, pass out, even to the point where she collapsed to sleep so many times, just to make sure that she's getting a breakthrough and trying to make sure that this cure is right, went nice and early and done right. That's what I wanted to say. So I guess I can say that my inspiration moment is looking at her, looking at Anthony Robbins, and looking at these people and just grabbing bits and pieces from there and putting it all together, blending it.
Well, thank you very much, Charles. You finished on time. Thanks again. And second question. What is more inspiring? Love, trust, intelligence, or physical appearance, and why? What is more inspiring? Love, trust, intelligence, or physical appearance? And explain why. Dorothy, would you like to share your answer with us? Dorothy Miller?
Thank you, Arcadia. Well, it's funny you should ask me because I was thinking, he's going to ask me since I'm the general evaluator. But let's give it a go. Love, trust, intelligence, or physical appearance. That is an interesting combination of words, of what is inspiring. And I have to go with my first instinct, and that is the most inspirational thing to me is love. When I see people that are truly loving one another, it inspires me to be a better person. It inspires me to be more loving to those people around me that I say I love and yet that I might get short with. When I see someone that is exemplary, that is slake, refreshing me, it makes me feel like, well, I can do this. Absolutely. It is so easy to become short-tempered with the people that you love. Have you heard the expression that we are hardest on the people that we love? I think that is true. So when I see, for example, I know a fellow Toastmaster who demonstrates on a daily basis. When I see them at Toastmasters, they demonstrate love for their fellow Toastmasters. It makes me more gentle, more kind, more motivational. It truly does make me inspired and more inspirational to other people. So in summary, what inspires me? Love, trust, intelligence, or physical appearance truly is love. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Dorothy. Yeah, I was expecting someone to say, yeah, it's love. I was pretty sure someone was going to say love, and you said it. Thank you. 3. Please share with us your most memorable time when you were a student, when you attended high school or university. Sharon.
Thank you, Table Talking Masters. Good evening, my Toastmaster fellows and most welcome guests. The question is, what is the most memorable time when I was a student? Well, I was a student 10 years ago, so the memory is vague. But I would say the most memorable time would be that I joined my classmate went to London, Ontario to take part in the national competitions at the Ivy Business School. Because as you know, I was an overseas student back then in the master. My language, my spoken English up till now is not good at all, actually. So it's very anxious and kind of embarrassed because I need to speak to a big crowd during the competition. We are going to do a demonstration and also the presentations. I made lots of mistakes. Even during the rehearsal, I was criticized by one of the committee members. He criticized that you shouldn't let a foreigner to participate and then spoken to the group of people because you made an embarrassment to your team. Well, that's very hurtful. However, actually during the interaction with the other students from the other school, especially the students from UBC, they are most welcome. They talk to me, even though my spoken English is not that good. I still find the memory is a little bit missing. Bittersweet. It inspired me to take the chance to step out whenever I got the chance to improve my speaking English as well as the presentation skill. Even though now I still have room to be improved. Thank you. Back to you, Table Talking Master.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Sharon. I bet all of us have an inspiring moment when we were students. The next question is for Samantha Siu. Samantha Sue, how would you inspire people whose country is experiencing a military conflict? How would you inspire people whose country is experiencing a military conflict?
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests. How would I inspire people in a war zone, right? I have no answer. I do feel that wars are useless. It will not solve anything. That's why I always think that if the whole world's leaders were women, it will be a different world. Why? Most women are mothers. I wouldn't want my children to go to the war and got killed. For what? For the ego of the leaders. Sometimes it's meaningless, especially some leaders, they would send the troops to a far, far away country to fight and fight and fight. And there were millions of civilians got killed for no reason. I don't know how to inspire people when they're at war. That would be my biggest question mark. And I want someone to tell me about it. I have no words to inspire people. I just feel sad, feel bad, and just really emotional when it comes to war to me. Because a lot of the time it's just history book. The leaders want to get more land, more power. That's why they send innocent people to fight for them. I really have no words to inspire anybody who's in a war zone. I feel sorry for them. Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Samantha. Thank you very much.
Mr. Table Topics Master, do we have one last question for Manesh? By any chance?
Sure. I'm going to say two questions and just choose the one that you feel most comfortable with. One is very simple. What inspires you? What motivates you? The other question is, do you agree or disagree with any of the answers you just heard? Tell us why.
This question is to me?
Yes, just what inspires you? What motivates you? That's one question. And the other one is, do you agree or disagree with any of the answers you just heard? Choose the one that you feel most comfortable with.
So it motivates me, every day it motivates me that I have to do exercise. Exercise is very important to do. And if I do exercise, it keeps me light and it keeps me fit. And whatever I wear, it looks nice on me. So exercise is not easy to do. It's very tough. First of all, when you're lying on your bed, it's difficult to get up from your bed and to go out to get ready. And then when you do exercise, it gives you a lot of pain. It's not an easy task when you do vigorous exercise, when you work out like a beast. So it's very important for me almost 3 days a week to motivate myself to go for exercise. When I do exercise, after finishing my exercise, when my body is so I feel doing it, and I always try to inspire myself. I always see the videos. Whenever I read any article which is regarding health, that motivates me. Whenever I see any elderly person whose age is 70, who is 75, who goes and do exercise, that inspires me. that I have to do exercise. Whenever I see any person who has incredible body, especially at the age of elderly person whose age is 80, 85, that inspires me. If this person has an incredible body, why can't I? I have to do it. I have to do it. So that's a thing which motivates me, which inspires me to keep myself fit. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Munish. Thank you, and thank you all for your answers. Thank you for sharing these brief moments with us. So yeah, this was the table topics session, and I give it back to the chairman.
Thank you so much, Arcadio, for those great questions that you asked tonight. Really appreciate your job as Table Topics Master. Before we get on to the evaluations for Table Topics, I would like to call on our guest, Jeffin, to present to us a joke as the joke master. Please help me welcome Jeffin.
Thanks, Leah. After hearing all those interesting stories about outer space and
I think we lost them.
Jeffin? Jeffin?
Can I make a suggestion to move on, and then when he's back on, we can go back to him?
Absolutely. I can go with that suggestion, Charles. Thank you very much. Sharon, are you ready as our Table Topics evaluator?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
All right, in that case, let's go to the evaluation section for Table Topics. Please help me welcome Sharon.
Thank you, Madam Chairs. Good evening, my dear Toastmaster fellows and most welcome guests. Tonight, I will first say that Arcadio provides us an interesting and inspiring topic to slay our craving for a topic to talk about tonight. The first question is, how would you define an inspiring moment? That was answered by our global speakers member, Charles. Charles raised Tony Robbins as an example, saying that he always looked for high calibers. I really like that he has shown some different aspects, perspective when talking about the topic. He talked about the people with high caliber, while he also talked about look at who's close to you, family-wise. That could draw some similarities and inspirations from us. And the second question is, what is more inspiring, love, trust, intelligent, physical appearance? The answer is handled by Dorothy. That's a really tricky question because you have to pick a word, and the word is a little bit complex. I love that Dorothy have raised point why she has talked in a tone that was emotional and inspiring, that drew all the attention to her speech. The third question is answered by me, so I cannot do the evaluation on myself. I will move on to the fourth question that was answered by our member Samantha. The questions I couldn't hear clearly, but I think it's inspire people who is experiencing conflict instead of war. Anyway, I think Samantha has been able to handle it quite well. He is able to contribute to her point of view while provoke others, while raising the questions so the others can contribute in the following, like perhaps in the quiz. The last questions is an ad hoc one that was handled by our guest, Munish. That was what is inspire you. I like that he made it very official and answered the question standing up and have all the hands gestured to engage the attention of the audience on his view on exercises. I think it's truly, it's true, especially during COVID and work from home, to have exercises from time to time to keep up the mental health. That's my evaluations for the table topic. Back to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Madam Table Topics Evaluator. That was great and very well done within such a limited time. Next, we move on to our reports. First, I would like to call on our grammarian, Sandy Chen, to tell us how did we do with our use of grammar, the word of the day. Please help me welcome Sandy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to give out the report for tonight. Tonight, we have some people who use our word of the day, slag, today. Samantha, Schaffner, Charles, and Dorothy. And if I did not call you, please let me know. And Sal Balulesa and Samantha. It's great that you are using this word of the day. And also, today, Sharon Liu used a couple times of and ums, and others are perfect, and everyone is good today. Back to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that, Sandy. Next, I'd like to call on our quizzer, and our quizzer tests our listening skills. Please help me welcome Samantha Su. Samantha, ask us questions.
Yes, I have a few here. Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, good morning, Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. My first one is from the introduction portion of the meeting, when our chair introduced the theme of the evening, and she said, hope and opportunity is like what? I think you should unmute yourself.
Everybody unmute yourself. If you know the answer, shout it out. This is your chance to check your listening skills.
Anybody?
Can you say that again, Samantha?
Yeah, said hope and opportunity is like what?
No.
A baby smile at us.
Ah.
How long was John Morris been a Toastmaster?
28 years.
8 years.
What is our implicator's reason to be a Toastmaster?
To improve our public speaking.
Her original reason.
To be in great company.
Jeffin.
What?
Isn't it Jeffin?
Because I dragged her into it.
To improve her communication skills. Prepare speech portion of the meeting, I have a couple of questions. The first one is, what is the title of Fabin's speech?
To infinity and beyond.
What kind of a night Sal saw the twinkle little stars?
Warm.
Nursery rhyme?
It was a specific term for that.
Sal's speech?
Yeah. And he held his father's large hand.
Yes. What kind
It's
of
in a quote book.
Warm. Summer?
It's a tropical night.
Tropical. That's what it was. Very good.
From the table topics portion, what did...
Red light.
Oh, red light, so I just concluded now.
Great questions.
For our participation.
Thank you for checking your listening skills.
Leah, you're muted.
Leah, you are.
Leah, please unmute yourself. Leah, please unmute yourself.
Unmute. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. My apologies. I didn't realize I was muted while talking. Thank you for those great questions. Next, I'd like to call on our timer, John Morris, to present how did we do with our timing this evening. John.
Thank you, Leah. I kept track fairly accurately of all the timers. Our first timer was our Zoom master, Yuhan, 2 minutes right on. Chairperson Leah, describing and welcoming guests, 1 minute 17 seconds. Chairperson again, Leah, roundtable introduction, 8 minutes 40 seconds. Grammarian Sandy, first half 1 minute 2 seconds, second half 46 seconds. My timer explanation myself, 54 seconds. Our indicator, Samantha, 2 minutes, 25 seconds. The toast by Leah, 30 seconds. First evaluator, Charles, 47 seconds. First speaker, Praveen, 6 minutes, 45 seconds. Second evaluator, Samantha, 2 minutes, 20 seconds. Our second speaker, Sal, 6 minutes and 44 seconds. Our first evaluator, Charles, 3 minutes, 23 seconds. Our second evaluator, Samantha, 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Comfort break was 5 minutes and 13 seconds. Reconvene meeting, Leah's remarks, 14 seconds. Our table topics master, Arcadio, he gave some preamble remarks, 1 minute, 24 seconds. Then the table topic speakers, Charles, 2 minutes and 11 seconds. Dorothy, 2 minutes and 13 seconds. Sharon, 1 minute, 47 seconds. Samantha, 2 minutes and 18 seconds. And Munish, 1 minute, 35 seconds. Our joke master didn't work out too well, Jeffin, but our table topics evaluator, Sharon Liu, 2 minutes, 36 seconds. And our final person that I got down was our quiz master, Samantha, 2 minutes, 32 seconds. So everybody kept right within their time limits, and we kept the meeting very accurately on time.
That is great. Well done, everybody. Now, John had just mentioned that our joke master kind of got overlooked. Now that Jeffin's back online, Jeffin, would you like to try the joke again?
Yeah, I mean, sure, I'd love to share some jokes that I plagiarized off the internet. That'd be fun.
Please.
Good evening, everyone. I am the joke master for the evening, and unfortunately, my computer was racing off into the stars instead of staying grounded here, as the rest of us are. Today, I have some jokes about the land of Canada, which is where we're currently in, Samantha and myself. Now, the first one is a story about my friend Jody. She is a huge fan of maps. She immigrated to Canada about 14 years ago, and she was such a big fan of Canada. She fell in love with this country so much that she got a map of Canada tattooed on her butt. Now, every time that she sits down, Quebec separates. What do you call? So I asked her, what do you call a sophisticated American? She says, a Canadian. And speaking of provinces in Canada, I was once in New Brunswick and a hockey fight broke out. And I wanted to, I realized I wasn't too much of a fan of hockey. There was a bit too much of violence. And I wanted to follow a sport that has a little bit less violence. And so that's why I now follow the UFC. But seriously, Canada is great. Whenever I have relatives coming over from India or something, I tell them that Canada has 2 seasons. It has winter and it has July. You probably know that feeling today. And my last joke, well, I once went to a pool party way before COVID. Don't worry, we were all socially distanced. And there were about 50 Canadians there. Do you know how I got them all out? I said, please get out of the swimming pool, and they all left.
Classically Canadian jokes. Thanks, Jeffin. That was great. Next, I'd like to call on our Division E Director and this meeting's General Evaluator to provide us with feedback on how the overall meeting went. Please help me welcome Dorothy Miller.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just to confirm, I have 5 minutes. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. So I'd like to begin with our chair. When we started out our meeting, we started promptly on time, and I noticed that our chair was really excited about getting this meeting going, and consequently, she spoke very quickly. But I'm happy to say that once she got into the flow, she slowed down, and she also provided exceptionally smooth transitions from one point to the next. She has a fabulous smile and really started us all the way through the meeting of having this wonderful smile to make us feel more welcome and cheerful. Our grammarian tonight, she provided a vocabulary word that was intended to expand that vocabulary, which is exactly what the grammarian is supposed to do. Choose a word that is going to challenge us and make us think outside of our normal box. So well done on that. I would like to suggest that all of us be very aware of those ums that sneak into our words. And that would be my point to grow for our grammarian tonight, because she had a wonderful presence and her explanation and introduction were really well done. Our timer tonight, John, thank you for being so precise with your timing lights. A couple of points that I'd like to make a suggestion is that you might want to try putting on some more lights in your room, because you looked quite dark, and at times I found it hard to see you clearly. And also you could try holding those sheets of paper closer. I don't have one with me, but closer and right up to the camera, like within 3 inches or so that we get a really clear vision of them, and hold them there until that time is up. You did a great job keeping time and then telling us what all the times were. Samantha, our invocator, very inspirational, well-spoken, and on theme. Thank you very much. Our table topics master, I love how he repeated those questions twice before he asked someone, so that we could really make sure that we understood what the questions were. His transitions were very clear and smooth. A couple of points that I'd like to offer to Arcadio would be to practice rehearsing those questions so that you didn't have to rely so heavily on reading your notes. The other thing is that you could actually tape your questions right onto your computer below your camera, so that you could keep your eyes focused on the camera rather than having to look down. Our joke master, well done. I definitely got some jokes or some laughs out of that. Well done. To our evaluators, I want to remind all of us that the point of evaluations are to elevate and motivate the speaker. So when we're evaluating, we want to make our speakers feel like to exemplify what they did well, to reiterate it, and then to motivate them to make improvements by suggesting where they could change, and perhaps even some examples on how they could change. That's a tricky thing to do, and it just requires a lot of practice. I especially liked how Samantha used a lot of gestures in her evaluating. That was really well done. Our table topics evaluator tonight demonstrated excellent listening skills. Her eye contact with the actual camera was very well done. Her feedback was meaningful and positive, and I would encourage all of us to always consider looking for one small point that our speaker could improve on, because that's why we're here, to find out what we're doing well and where we could improve. The hardest thing about Zoom is keeping our eyes focused on the camera. It is very tempting to look at the people on the screen or to look down at your notes. Keep your eyes on that camera. The other point that I'd like to make for all of us to be aware of is that we want our eyes to be at camera level. When we're standing with our camera down below us and looking down at the camera, it actually makes the audience feel like we're looking down on them. And we can actually even do that while we're sitting. If you raise your laptop or your camera up a bit, you can get eye contact with us. And I'm sorry, I've got my time. How am I doing on my time? How's my time there, Mr. Timer? Oh, we're on red. So there you go. It was a delight to be here, and the meeting went smoothly. Back to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much for that feedback, Dorothy. Always gratefully appreciated. At this point, I would like to ask our guests what they thought of the Global Speakers meeting tonight. I'm going to go one at a time, and when I call on you, please tell us what your thoughts were, your impressions, your feelings. I'd like to start with Samantha Schaffner first. Samantha, what did you think of tonight's meeting?
I had a lot of fun at tonight's meeting. It's similar to our meetings, but the schedule was reversed, I guess. And I thought having the table topics at the end instead of the beginning served to keep everyone awake a little bit, just in case they got called on. Some fantastic speeches tonight too. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Samantha. Next, I'd like to call on Jaffin for his thoughts on tonight's meeting.
Similar to Samantha, I had a lot of fun today. It was great to hear the speeches. I have to say, I think the club has phenomenal evaluators as well. I personally enjoy evaluations almost as much as I enjoy the speeches, just because that's really where the nuggets of learning are. And I thought both the evaluators today had some really interesting topics, and the general evaluator as well. I think this is the first time I've ever heard someone say an evaluation is for motivating and for evaluating. I'm taking that to heart because I think that's very much true and a spirit of Toastmasters in general. Back to you, Leah.
Thanks, Jaffin. Next, I'd like to call on Sandy. Chen, what did you think of tonight's meeting?
Yeah, actually, this meeting is quite a little bit different from our meeting, which is like 30 minutes less than our meeting. And the more interesting thing is that I love the quizzer part and the joke master part. The quizzer part is more interacting with other audience who didn't speak to each other, and then everyone think about it, and it's quite interesting because it's on your listening skills. Yeah, and also I also learned that, like in the beginning, you mentioned that for timer you can mute the speaker when they speak over time, which is interesting. Yeah, back to you.
Oh, thank you. It's a neat feature that Zoom allows the timer to have if the timer is given the ability, just to let you know, Sandy. Next, I'd like to call on Alex Val for his impressions of tonight's meeting.
I think it's a very good meeting. The average level, I think, is higher than my Toastmaster, because in our group, Toastmaster club, where most people are like from other country with English as a second language. And this club, I feel like everybody speak very good English. And also everybody are very enthusiastic and prepared the speech very well. So very good meeting, yeah.
Thank you very much for being here tonight, Alex. It's appreciated. Next, I'd like to call on David W. for your impressions of the meeting. David? Would you like to unmute yourself and provide some feedback? Okay, if not, that's okay.
Just a reminder to unmute.
David, can you unmute?
So I just checked the email. I didn't receive the email about the Club of Kids.
You did not, or you did?
Yeah, you will. Yes, it won't be right away. It'll be after this meeting.
Okay, thank you.
What did David think of tonight's meeting?
David, good. It's helpful for him. David is shy. I'm
okay.
encourage you to.
Okay. Thank you for sharing.
Yes, and Gavel Club will help him overcome that. Manesh, what did you think of tonight's meeting, sir?
Oh, good.
It's a wonderful meeting. I learned something. I'm bad at remembering names. One lady said that in the world, if all the ladies rule the country, definitely there will be a change. And nobody wants to send their troops. Nobody wants to send their kids to war. It's a wonderful thing, but it's very important in life that there should be no war. Everywhere there should be peace. And the people, they spend a lot of money, the government, to bring that, buy the ammunition for the war. Second, I learned from one of the speaker that he has aggressive form of cancer, and that was incredible speech. And the entire speech, I was thinking, what is he going to say next? What is he going to say next? That is going to teach us, to teach everybody. Suppose something bad happened in life, we should not be very serious. We should find the ways how to get rid of that thing. I learned these two things, wonderful things. Thank you. You made my day.
Thank you very much for being here, especially all the way from India.
I want that whatever the mistake which I made while delivering the speech, please chat on the message that the mistake which I made, my ums, or there's any of mistake which I want to improve the next time.
But you're welcome to come back next time and try it again. Absolutely. Thank you very much for being here tonight. Next, I would like to call on our Area 42 Director, Praveen. What did you think of tonight's meeting, sir?
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I don't know if I'm being heard properly. Can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you now, but you're very soft.
Okay, I apologize for my unstable internet connections. Thank you for inviting me, Johan. I had a great time. I think you have a very structured meeting which full of verve and enthusiasm. And what I like most about attending meetings at clubs other than mine is that you get to learn different perspectives. You get to know how differently other clubs do things. And I think I like how you do things. I liked your evaluations. I liked the structure. I liked how you've done your meetings differently. So thank you for having me. I look forward to visiting you again.
You are welcome to come back anytime, Mr. Area 42 Director. Last but definitely not least, I would like to call on our Division E Director, Dorothy Miller, for her impression of tonight's meeting. Dorothy.
Madam Chair, I believe that this club, Global Speakers, has tremendous potential. You have a wide variety of people in attendance tonight, and you have many strengths. I look forward to seeing this club be lifted back up to where they are functioning at a high level and enjoying every single meeting. There's good things happening here. I'm glad to be here to support you.
Thank you very much for your support. I would now like to call on the executives to ask, and the Division E Director, are there any announcements that you would like to make? Dorothy?
I would like to remind Global Speakers and everyone here that District 21 is hosting a club officer training on Saturday, August the 22nd. It will be on Zoom, and there is an Evite out now for it. So if your club members have not achieved their training, and each club is asked to train at least 4 of the 7 officers, and we are always striving for the best, so 7 out of 7 would be wonderful, but at least 4 of your club officers trained. And again, that's on Eventbrite. Back to you.
Thank you very much for that announcement. At this point in the evening, thank you everybody for being here and making tonight a fantastic meeting that went smoothly and all rules filled. Thank you so much. I would like to call this meeting to order, and you are invited back to our next meeting. Have a good evening, everyone. Meeting adjourned.
Well done. Joan, I'll send you off an email after the meeting. Okay. Great.
Thank you so much. I will also expect to invite you next time.
Joan, Joan, I'm going to suggest that we find you a gavel club that you could visit on Zoom. I'm just searching to see if there is a gavel club that is on Zoom right now, because that would be a better fit for